Dang dang! You! Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're building this 18-inch hybrid rifle featuring the walnut XRS chassis. Now we had to steal some parts of various builds. We have a brand new piece of kit on the front that I'm excited to tell you guys about, but this thing looks absolutely stunning. So before we got here, we needed to build it, and that's what's next. See you at the end when we go to the range. So the saying goes, change is as good as a holiday, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing today, because I don't have time for a holiday, so change it is. Over here we have one of my favorite all-time MDT products. This is the XRS chassis. Now this is the version with the enhanced forend. Now if you have an old generation XRS chassis, you possibly can't have the internal forend weight, which I have installed in this one. Just helps a little bit with that balance point once the rifle's actually in, if you wanted to use this as sort of a PRS platform slash hunting platform too, then you could just pop the weight out obviously. Also gives you the ability to have the enclosed forend. Now, the newer generations of XRSs actually do have that channel for this one piece weight, but that's not really what this video is about. We are gonna run this thing in an upcoming sort of practice match this weekend, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of a new look. Now, before we can do that, let's pop it into our vise over here. Guys, I've been hopping on about this bench vise, okay, the Arrow Products Rock Vise for a while now. It is a sponsor of the channel, but you guys know that I don't endorse a product unless I use it all the time. This thing is absolutely awesome, and the feedback we've gotten from our clients that have gotten them from our store has been sensational. So you can either get these from Arrow Products or you could pick them up from us. Anyway, let's work on some bang bang stuff. Now, here we have my dasher, the 18-inch dasher, which we recently upgraded in the MDT carbon stock. Now, we're gonna pop that barrel action out of there, and then more importantly, something I've been sitting on for a while, and I did a video on this. If you have one of these old XRSs, there is a kit that you can buy that adds some more traditional product to the offering. So I'm super excited to see what this actually looks like. This is in fact the walnut upgrade kit for the XRS. I think it's gonna add some flair, break up some of those solid black lines, just adding some walnut trim to it. Excited to see what this is going to look like. So it's 3 parts. We're going to swap out cheek riser at the back, the little side panels on the front, and then we're also going to change out the grip to the vertical walnut grip. So excited to see what this all comes out as. Let's get the barrel action out, pop it in here, and then get these wood panels on, and I can show you guys what this is going to look like. Then we're going to head to the range, quickly zero it up. I've got some old ammo over here. This is some Nosler 105 custom comps that I'll be shooting this weekend, just the sort of practice load, as it is not like a big 2-day match. So without further ado, let me pull these parts off and get this thing installed. First things first, we're going to rip the bolt. Then we're going to get rid of this Impact 4000 that's on there. I think I might just leave the scope on just like that so that we don't have to go for a re-zero. So to do that and work on this rifle a little bit easier, I am going to just pop this guy out. What's really cool about this vise is we're going to flip it around. Now I've got Picatinny on this side, and because I'm mounting this Impact 4000 on top of this Picatinny rail, I can now actually just do that, which is quite convenient for what we are currently doing. Okay, let's get those action screws off. A little tip that you guys might implement in your workspace is I've actually taken a permanent marker and color coded some of these bits that I use for certain screws. So I, for example, know that on this carbon I need my green bit to fit perfectly into my action screw. So that's a little tip that I like to use in the workshop. Something that really bothers me when working on rifles is the fact that there are a million different screws scattered across the rifle, some of them metric, some of them imperial, and it's really a pain in the ass. And as a result of that, just off the screen here, I have a selection of different Allen keys, different hex bits. I've got bits pretty much scattered all over the place in different configurations in order to make my life easier when working on these kind of things. So we're going to pop this guy down into the chaos. Also something excited that I'm really excited for is new product alert. Some of these precision rifle matches this year in South Africa are going to require us shooting only silencers. Okay. Now APW have come out with their new PRS silencer. So I've never shot this before. So it's got like a self-timing nut on the side to level it out. The ports are a little bit more open on the top. Okay, to give you help fight that muzzle rise. If you're shooting something like a 308, I don't think it's going to be a concern for us on the dasher. So this is not a omnidirectional. This is this side on top, branded nice on the side, and I've just made the smallest cover. And after the match, you can also use this to keep your beer cold if you really wanted to. So this is going to go on the front and replace our titanium silencer that we are currently running. So with that said, let's pop this guy out. Okay, it's going to be really cool not to lose our zero. Now, in all reality, because we do have the titanium one on the front, we're probably going to have to adjust our zero a little bit because this one is significantly heavier than the titanium one. So let's actually crack that off. Titanium, while really cool for making stuff, titanium is a terrible material when it comes to threads. So always be careful when you're threading on something that's titanium, because that can bind up so freaking quickly and it's just a nightmare. Let's pop a little thread cap on this, not to damage our fresh crown that Alfred did for us at Impact Pro Shop. And then I think before we pop this barrel action back in to the XRS, let's fit these panels before we do that. So this is our before, boom, and give you some reference, and then we'll do an after. Okay. So first things first, let's do, Arca might work better. Now, guys, tell me, what do you like in terms of our videos? Because these videos I could do in a way where I basically chat with you guys through the whole process while we're fitting the stuff. Or do you want jump cuts, boom, 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 okay, wow, it's all done. Let me know what you prefer, because I don't mind actually like sharing some bits and pieces that I have come to learn over the last couple of years while doing assemblies and stuff like that. Now, classic example is heat. Okay, make sure that that is indeed the right one. Okay, so you do need to use the hardware that comes pre-installed on your other buttstock, because the screws aren't provided. Now, to get that out, just thread them in a little bit and then give them a push from underneath, and then they will pop out of there. Okay, let's slot that guy in. Now these guys fit pretty tight, so once you get this sort of pillar threaded, then just thread them from the other way and they'll kind of suck themselves in. Now in the center here seems to be a screw, and I can't quite figure out what it does, but there was some play on this little nut on the inside, so I'm just going to tighten that up so it doesn't rattle around on me, because that will drive me bonkers. Okay, let's, ooh, like a glove. That looks mega cool already. I don't want to spoil the surprise for you guys, so let's get these side panels on. Let's get this stuff off. And I'm going to skip ahead while I pop these side panels on. Now there's a really handy little screw holder on the top of the vise, which I use a lot. And something to note, when you're doing this install, do not use the old hardware, okay, that you've taken off your rifle, because you do need to add these little washers in order to protect the wood. Okay, so when we're doing these side panels, there are 3 screws on either side. You need to add those little washers just to make sure that you don't overdo it and then sink the head of the screw like into the walnut, because you don't want to be doing that. It's gonna spoil your finish a little bit. I often say to my wife, like, I do think that I am getting older because I'm just loving like beautiful wood stocks and stuff, and it's something I really, really wish MDT would do more of. Obviously, our relationship with MDT is unbelievable. As you guys know, I was a customer long before this YouTube channel ever existed, so I am not really going to explore with other stocks and stuff like that, because they've been such a good partner for us on the channel, and you guys supporting them because of this channel is freaking awesome. So I can't thank you enough. If you've ever got anything from MDT, I might have done this one a little bit too hard, but it's starting to look pretty snazzy. Me like it. This is gonna just make it pop. Okay, so doen gaan die ander kant. Now, it's not all bells and whistles with the XRS chassis. I have actually had some issues with mine, not in terms of its performance. We obviously live here by the coast in South Africa, and it's very moist. It's very humid here. And as a result of that, if you don't have a good dehumidifying setup in either your walk-in safe or your rifle safe, then these little side panel nuts and things, they can rust on you real quick. So what I've done is I've actually Cerakoted my old ones because they did get a little rusty, but that is my own fault, because if your nuts are rusting, other stuff on your rifle is rusting. So I did not have the right dehumidifier setup. I do now. I've got a permanent electrically plugged in thing that lives in my safe. So it's to the point where when I open my safe doors, the rifles are like warm to the touch, because it's constantly running and keeping them nice and toasty, but more importantly, dry. Okay, because yeah, just living by the coast, it's crazy how things rust down here. I often joke with my parents, they live right by the beach, and I say that their glass rusts there because it's just, I mean, it's relentless. Let's do this grip. I'm just working here on this surface because it's just a little bit easier to work on a flat surface right in front of me, especially because we're having to flip this. And with the camera, I need to like do the reach around, and we don't want to be doing that on video. Okay, so that is loose. Let's pop this in here so you guys can get the full effect. Let's wiggle off this old vert grip and replace it with its new, oh, they're like super cool, the new walnut one. I do not know what these long screws are for. Got these worth, but haven't needed to use them, and we're running out of parts. So let me know if you know what those 2 long screws were for. That is hilarious. It's like that typical thing when you're fixing something for your kid or whatever, and then you have more parts left over after you're done putting it back together than you started with. Alrighty guys, that is our after. Looks pretty freaking good, if you ask me. Now I hope that with our 18-inch barrel, we can actually pop this in here without needing to take this fore-end off. In the past, it was tricky to do with a long barrel because you almost get it through and then you can't drop the trigger in. Now, I make these little 3D printed thread protectors. It is not a silencer or anything of that nature. It's actually sealed on the end. It's just that when you're doing stuff like this, you're not accidentally hitting your crown like on a nut or something, or a bolt that is a little bit long. Let's see if we're gonna be able to do this. Yeah, no, please Lord, let us be able to do this. It's not happening. Okay, so we are gonna need to pull this fore-end off. It's a few bolts on the other side. Let's get to that. Alrighty, there we go. Our build is done. I am gonna shoot this LHT. I think this looks phenomenal. Last thing to do is pop our suppressor on this guy and then time it up and engage that little set screw that we have. Like a freaking glove, baby. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to be too stressed. Oh, it's almost level. I'm going to be too stressed about getting this 1,000,000% level, but effectively, let me do this so the camera picks it up a little bit better. Okay, then last thing is putting our cover on, making sure that this is nice and taut. Now, why would you want to run a suppressor cover? Well, if you didn't notice, when you shoot a lot like we do in these precision rifle matches, or even if you go out plinking to the range, your suppressor heats up, and even if you have the best optics in the world, you will still be looking through suppressor mirage. So if you wanted to pick up one of our covers for your silencer, we've just added to our website the ability to order custom dimensioned silencer covers in black, FDE, or multicam. So pick up one of those and it goes a long way to support the channel. So guys, this is an 18-inch little PRS build, hybrid build, which is literally the point of the XRS chassis, is to sort of give you that mid-range, all-round capable platform. Let me know what you guys think. I think it looks stunning. Let's go to the range and see how she shoots. Guys, we're gonna be shooting here. So, you know, from there, we're gonna be shooting over there. So, brother, yay, you must go. He doesn't look like he cares much. Please step back so we can shoot here. Okay, shot. Guys, it is proper miserable at the range, and I'm just starting to get some drops on my rifle here. Let's start a new session. Okay, I'm going to do a 5-round group pretty quickly because I see a big cloud of rain moving in. Shoot top left. Again, these are like practice loads. Loving how this little silencer feels. I'm happy with that. It's a pity about that last shot. It's kind of like a half MOA group. Speed 2,591 feet per second. Keep in mind this is an 18-inch barrel. Alrighty, so we are at 505 meters. We got a little 18-inch hybrid dasher. We zeroed it. Zero looks good. I'll show you guys what that zero looks like. It's a miserable day at the range, and so we're not going to hang around here too much. I'm going to put about 5 of these custom comps in, and there's quite an aggressive wind. So I need to be careful not to run this mag into the side of my car. Now my car is wrapped in like a clear coat, so because it does get used, as you guys have seen, it is filthy. Now on my way back from making this video, as I was crossing this water, I must have hit a rock or a piece of iron or something below the waterline and completely trashed the wheel. So yeah, please consider buying something from our store, because these videos are expensive to make. So we need to dial 3.9, and then our initial wind core is going to be 0.7 left. So let's see if we can slap steel first round. 550 yards in pretty horrid conditions, to be honest. Parallax, fix that. Woo! Our elevation's like on the money. Wow, okay, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit because this angle sucks. That was that was awesome. Maybe a little bit more wind, like a 0.8, I would say. Let's see if we can double tap the second rounds. Dang dang! You! Okay, now precision. Impact just on the bottom edge. The trace I'm seeing is wild with this little gun. In the center. Flipping out this badass. Awesome. Okay. Fresh ammo, baby. Okay, 4 more rounds. I'm going at quite small targets and it is a 0.8 wind. It's difficult enough because the car's kind of doing this in the wind. There was an impact, by the way. Watching these bullets just fly down range is so satisfying. I knew I pulled that one low as soon as that shot ripped. Now guys, I do something where I never leave the range on a miss. So I'm going to grab another round and just pick up that shot. Damn it! So we almost went 9 for 9 in pretty spicy conditions. Let's just pick up that shot. There we go. Might as well do another one. Alrighty guys, there you have it. Yeah, pretty spicy conditions. We're going to be running this LHT in tomorrow's match, so that should be a ton of fun. I'm loving the 18-inch dasher. It is very, very, very cool, and I love how this XRS looks with the walnut inserts and the stuff. It just adds, you know, it adds some flair to it, and I quite like that. One thing I will do before tomorrow is put one of my little Sidekick recoil control devices on here so I can just get a little bit more leverage on that front end before the match. But other than that, I'm gonna call this good. Happy with how the custom comps are running in these conditions. So yeah, overall, the stoked is high. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this beautiful rifle. I think it is, you guys know I've always had a soft spot for Dasher, but now that it's shorter, it's even more appealing. So yeah, I don't know, I love it. Anyway, okay guys, see you in the next video. God bless you, and yeah, hold thumbs for tomorrow. Bye.